Hi everyone, it's Jerry. As a fan of chess, of course, and football, I'm excited to share this next game with you. On the white end, former star quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys turned football color commentator for CBS, Tony Romo. He recently played a few blitz games against Mark Tyler Arnold, a 26-year-old American grandmaster. I'm going to share one of those blitz games with you. Blitz is a fast-paced form of chess. You only have a few minutes to complete your game. Now, if you're at all curious, what are the chances that an amateur player defeats a chess grandmaster? Well, let's just say it would be more likely to first see a team win a football game by throwing a Hail Mary, recovering an onside kick, and then throwing yet another Hail Mary as the clock expires. So let's dive in here and see how this game plays out. Tony Romo opens with one e4, Mark Arnold replying with e5. White acquires a pawn duo in the center, typically regarded as an asset. A bit of a false start on that idea. Probably better to preface it with knight f3 so that the knight is in a position to recapture on d4. Why am I drawing attention to this moment in the game? Well, after black captures, the queen is recapturing, and it is the queen who is now accessible to the black pieces. After knight c6, the queen must react to this threat. If it was the knight on d4, white would have other options. White replies in this game by going back home. Now, I know it's early. It's just the first quarter of the game. I'm going to take a quick 30-second timeout. Something to note. When you have the white pieces, it's an advantage because you get to make the first move of the game. Currently, white has something positive, a pawn in the center, but so too does black, a developed knight. But it is black to move in this position. What am I getting at? It is as if black made the first move of this game. Knight f6 follows. There's a threat on e4. A way to defend is knight c3. Knight f3 in this game, so black is able to win a pawn. Play continues with queen to e2. This is already an extremely difficult position for white. It appears that this last move, queen e2, is a good move because you're attacking the knight. The knight is also in a pin. You can't move because it would be check. It's illegal. But this is no issue. Black can defend that knight. d5 is played. And now a question for white is, how will this bishop shoot through this gap? The queen on e2, right? The queen is in the way. What does this mean? This is providing black very useful information about where the white king will likely reside. Hanging a right and going kingside is not as easily accomplished anymore. It will take some effort on white's part to do that. So it is likely the case the white king will go queenside. Black can already anticipate this. Now, in this difficult position, white does in fact play a best move, bishop g5, development with a punch, without fear of knight takes bishop. That's illegal. Bishop e7, dark square bishops are exchanged. In the process, this knight is now unpinned. It's attacked. Knight d2, some development for both sides now. Bishop g4, queenside castles. Kingside castles. Black actually had the option. Could go in either direction. We have an instance of opposite sides castling in this game. So ideally, each side would really like to go after one another's throat. Go right after the king. Try and get some open file directly towards the enemy king. So what white does next is attack the bishop. This pin is uncomfortable. The knight would like to move, so white with these next couple moves is addressing the pin. h3, g4, bishop back. The knight is now free to move. Doesn't really have a good move, though. There are no good forward squares for this knight. All of them are covered. This knight on c6 has those two, and these two are covered in a few different ways. So from here we have the white queen going on the offensive. generating a threat, it appears at least, on b7, and also the bishop has some new possibilities, finally, along this natural diagonal. Now, what follows here is a6. Black is allowing the b pawn to be captured, so interesting moment. The white player, many white players at this stage may be saying, you know what, I just won a pawn. But black in this case is saying, thank you so much. I now have an avenue to attack your king. My rooks will be put to use, quick use, and I will be able to target your king. Currently, the knight is under fire. Material at the moment is now balanced. White has recaptured the pawn a few moves later. But black is without question for choice here. This last move, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's very easy for white to be so fixated on what it is this knight is doing. Hitting a2, ready to take the pawn with check. Black pieces are also indirectly converging on c2. There is also another threat. The most serious of threats is rook on f to b8, and the queen, officially way off sides, will be hunted, trapped. No coming back from this. What's important to note here is that unlike the white king, the black king enjoys a very nice pocket, secured by all three pawns. They all remain on their home square and have no pressure on them whatsoever. Because of this compact formation, it's very difficult for white to even dream up a way to somehow get at the black king. If these pawns were to move downfield, there'd be some gaps created, and you could begin to see maybe a path forward. But it's simply not the case here. There exists not even a shadow of an attack against the black king. Now from here, what we have is first an exchange of knights. The bishop is pulled forward. There's now a pin. There's now direct coordination on c2. The pressure on c2 is alleviated, but the main threat here is to win the queen. This is also pretty appealing. Taking the knight with the fork, but rook f b8 is the follow-up. The queen has no safe squares. Best in this case is to take a rook, the one in the corner preferably, as it will at least pull this rook that's on an active file to one that is closed. But we had a big miss here. Very easy to make mistakes in these fast time controls. Queen c6 was played, and, well, that knight can move backwards. That is a full queen. So just kind of finishing up here, this is only a 23 mover. Bishop takes bishop, pawn takes bishop. This knight is now hit. And my impression from this game is that certainly white is well aware of the pin idea in the game. Rook on h to e1, saying, you take my knight, I'll take your queen. By this point, black has such a material plus that if he wanted to give back some material, he can do just that. So black could take the knight here and say, yeah, take my queen. The position has now simplified and I can tolerate your single piece in this position. But black wants a little bit more, does not want to give away the queen so easily, playing queen b4, targeting b2, and preparing to pick off the knight for free. Play follows with a3, queen takes b2, and the white king is now officially flushed from his pocket. King d2 only move. Pawn takes knight, king e3, queen check, the rook blocks, and after queen takes e1, Romo has had enough. Romo resigns in this position before this guy here can get sacked. So, really cool game to see. You know, I'm a football fan, of course a chess fan, and to see these two worlds collide and see him in action, this little clip that was shared recently where he's playing speed chess, you know, that's just a whole different world There's chess where you have plenty of time to think your moves through, develop plans, make sure you're not making any serious blunders. But when you have little time on the clock, mistakes are going to happen. Very easy to mess up. It's a skill all on its own to play blitz chess. So if we have a quick look at the tail of the tape on this one. So here we go. First of all, these numbers over here, this is really the main one to have a look at. Basically, this number, you want that to be as low as you can. That's the lower the number, the higher quality game you have played. So if you're somewhere in the single digits there for your average centi-pawn loss, you would basically be playing what is close to an impeccable game. So just going through this little graph, positive numbers mean that white has an advantage, negative numbers, an advantage for black. And we could see that very early on it was already about equal after the d4 move. Pawn was picked up, and really the move queen to e2, this little shift right here, right around a -2 evaluation in chess talk is saying it's already lost. And it was very easy at that point to have the position snowball, and it just gets worse from there. Easy to go downhill. But yeah, anyhow, I really liked seeing that Tony Romo in action there, playing speed chess with Mark Tyler Arnold. It was just a really quick clip, and yeah, it shows that he definitely has an interest in the game, and as mentioned, it's a skill all on its own to be playing speed chess, this form of blitz chess. Anyhow, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.